Have you ever noticed that when you've got that really awkward customer on the phone, that they throw out whatever objection it is and it catches you completely by surprise? Because it's caught you so much by surprise, you end up tripping over your own words trying to deal with it and end up probably saying the wrong thing. I suppose it's exactly the same when we fall out with our other half. You know, when they say something to you and you say the first thing that comes into your mind, and actually the first thing that comes into your mind was probably, in hindsight, not the best thing to say to them at all, but now it's too late. That's exactly the same in a sales context, because what happens is when we're caught off guard in a sales call or a sales meeting, when we say the first thing that comes into our mind, often the first thing that comes into our mind is not the right thing. We don't articulate ourselves very well, we trip over our own words, and we generally do a bad job at dealing with objections. Have you noticed that sometimes you'll have a conversation with somebody on the phone or you'll have a meeting with them? They'll throw out the objection. It's a completely unexpected objection. You deal with it in a very, very poor way. You walk out of the meeting or you hang up the phone, and as soon as you've hung up the phone or walked out of that meeting, suddenly it comes to you and you know, I should have said, and you know exactly what you should have said. But now it's too late because the moment's passed. Wouldn't it be great if you were able to develop the ability to be able to buy yourself enough time at the moment the objection comes in order to deal with it successfully? And the reality of it is often you only need a couple of seconds to compose your thoughts and to think about what you're going to say. People ask me a lot about objection handling, but I think the most important part of dealing with objections is for you to take control and to remain calm in that situation. If you can remain calm and stay in control, then usually you can deal with any objection that's thrown your way. My approach is very, very straightforward, and it's 3 steps. Take a breath, pause, empathize, and then go on and deal with the objection. And those 3 things in themselves will buy you a bit of time. Only a few seconds, but they'll buy you enough time to think about what you're going to say. So if the customer says to you, that's just far too expensive, instead of jumping in and saying, but I'm sure we can work something out with regards to the price, which is probably the worst thing you can say in that context, take a breath, pause for a moment, empathize by saying, okay, I completely understand what you're saying, or I hear what you're saying. And by taking that breath, pausing and using the empathy statement, you're buying yourself some very, very good time just to think for a moment exactly what you're going to say to them next. Using this approach when dealing with any sticky situation in a sales context, or even on a personal level, taking a breath, pausing, empathizing before you open your mouth and say whatever it is the key to dealing with objections in a true, professional and a successful way.